All right, I'm going to show you how to put together our decorative tea towel stand and one of our towels. Here I am staining the ladder and the base with a water-based stain. You can paint this, or you can also use acrylic paint to stain by using a baby white. So you can do this however you choose. All right, then I'm going to set it aside and let that dry. Now it's time to paint my decorative towel. I laid a paper towel on top of it to flip it over. Then I used painter's tape across the back so all the little hearts stuck to the tape when I took it off. This is optional. You can take out each and every one and place it on tape. I just thought this was a little bit faster of a trick. So I lay all of my pieces on painter's tape with the sticky side up. It makes painting really easy. So I'm just laying out my letters and all the little pieces. Now I am going to paint my towel. The back piece you don't need to paint all the way because it's going to get covered. So you're just going to paint a little bit on the left side of the back piece, and then you're going to paint the whole entire front piece of that towel. I used a roller. You can use a sponge. Any way that you like to paint, you can do that. Then I used a weeding tool to get the paint out of all of my score lines. It's a really great way. You want to do this when the paint is wet. It comes out a lot easier. Don't forget to paint the inside of the heart piece and the inside of the E the same color as the towel, so it looks like it's all one piece. Then I used a makeup sponge to paint my fringe at the bottom of the towel. And I'm also using a makeup sponge to paint all of my hearts and my letters for the towel. Now I'm going to add some shading to my towel, and I'm using a gray paint, and I just dabbed a makeup sponge in the paint and dabbed a lot of it off. So it's almost dry, and I'm just going along the edges of my towel to give it some of the shading in the areas, and using a brush to shade where that score line is so that when the top layer is glued on, it'll kind of give it that really nice 3D shaded look. Here I'm using a super glue to put my pieces together. You can also use a wood glue, but you do want to use a glue that gives you just a few seconds of time to adjust it, because once you lay it down, you're going to want to make sure the bottom where the fringe is all lines up, along the edges it lines up. And then once you have that set, you can start gluing in all of your pieces. And again, I am using the super glue and just dabbing it in all the little spaces and then adding the pieces in. This works perfectly. Now we need to put our hanging bracket together, and you're going to take the two thin pieces and sandwich them together and then glue them to the little bit bigger of a rectangle and clamp it and then set it aside. All right, now that my ladder and my base are dry, I'm just going to give it a light sanding just to give it a little bit of a rustic look. That's optional depending on the style that you want. Then on the base piece, you'll see that there is a scored rectangle. That is where you're going to glue the other rectangle piece that holds the ladder. So that's where you want to put it so it balances correctly. All right, now you want to figure out where you want to put the hanger on the back of the towel. So I just hold it up on the ladder, put the little back piece on, and then I draw a line across the back so I know exactly where to glue it. I forgot to paint the back, so that's what I'm doing here because I wanted it to be pink all the way around, depending on where I put it, in case you could see it from the back side. This is optional. Now I'm just gluing the hanger to the back of my towel. I'm going to let it set up for a second and then it'll be ready to hang. All of our decorative wood towels and ladders come in small and large, and it is also available as a DIY kit for you to paint at home, or if you are also a maker, it is available as an SVG for you to download and cut yourself. So thanks for watching.